Iman Gadzhi and Hormozi, two of the most influential brands in the online business space, are now at war for the control of the creator economy. Last week, Iman Gadzhi announced that he's just become the co-owner of Whop, just over a year after Hormozi became the co-owner of Skool. These two platforms were dominating the info product space in 2025, and the price is nothing less than $1 billion. In one corner we have Iman Gadzhi, a titan of the info product world who over the past decade has built a fortune by dominating the online education space. In the other one, Hormozi, the founder of Acquisition.com and one of the most relevant marketing figures of our time. But this isn't just a battle for market share. It's a race to own the infrastructure that millions of creators and online entrepreneurs will rely on for years to come. This is the battle for the future of online business, and whoever wins will get the chance to shape the next generation of it. Over the past year, I've personally built successful communities with tens of thousands of members on Skool, some of which are now transitioning to Whop. I've worked with some of the most successful personal brands and online entrepreneurs making millions of dollars a year. And today, I'll be breaking down the exact strategies these two titans are using to compete for market domination. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what strategies Iman and Hormozi are implementing in the battle for this $1 billion prize, and where you should put your bets to win in this new creator economy. And now, let's dive into the $1 billion war map. While Iman Gadzhi made his investment in Whop official last week, what a majority of people don't know is that this investment had been already made months ago. The reason that this is important is because Whop never relied on Iman for distribution, because even before that Iman stepped in, Whop already had a full brand content system in place. Because unlike Skool, the brains behind Whop's content, Austin and Brett, they weren't thinking just about software. They were thinking about building a brand and an attention ecosystem. So what's an attention ecosystem? Well, an attention ecosystem is a multi-layer brand system designed to capture, nurture, and convert attention into revenue. This system is the same system that creators at both Skool and Whop are leveraging to attract attention at scale and transform it into revenue. It is the same system that I've used with some of our clients who make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. So let me break down how it works. The first layer of the ecosystem is the ecosystem entry points, and the goal of this layer is to capture attention. To get people into your ecosystem, you need to leverage high organic reach platforms. Platforms that can get you in front of people who may have never heard of you before. And the best platforms for this are platforms with powerful algorithms. YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter act as entry points into the ecosystem, because this first layer is all about visibility and reach, as planting as many seeds as possible in the minds of new potential customers. In the second layer of the ecosystem, the focus shifts from attracting to nurturing attention. Once you capture someone's attention, you want to move that attention into spaces that you control, like your email list or a private community. It's here where by deepening the relationship and staying connected without relying on algorithm changes, you can turn surface level interest into priming for prospects and conversion. Here you can position yourself as an authority and guide people in your space to nurture them over time. Once you have their trust, you can convert that attention into revenue. Once the people trust you, they will buy pretty much anything that you present them with. Conversion happens naturally because the trust has been already built step by step through the previous layers. But how did the Whop team leverage the attention ecosystem to acquire market share at an insane rate? In the first layer, ecosystem entry points, Whop leverages three main platforms to attract people into the ecosystem. The first one is Twitter, where the Whop team creates three types of content. Success story to celebrate users who make money through Whop to build authority. Platform updates announcing new features, keeping people on the edge of what's coming. And money-making opportunities showing new people ways to monetize through Whop communities and services. In the second platform, Instagram, they leverage two types of content. The first one is founder-led reels, where they show the behind-the-scenes building the processes of Whop, building in public, and create emotional investment around the brand's mission. And the second one, trailer reels, where they show cinematic shorts edits that tease their longer-form YouTube content. And this is really important because YouTube is a core piece of their content strategy. YouTube is a core piece of their content strategy because what they do here is reality-style blog documentaries where they spend a full day with successful Whop creators. What they do here is really smart because they build emotional connection with the audience by telling the full story of these creators, from struggle to success. And they showcase how Whop has been part of that journey to success. Positioned this way, Whop is not just a tool, but is part of this creator's identity and growth journey. Now, YouTube doesn't only act as a discovery, it also builds trust with the audience because you go on deep dives and you get to see the behind the scenes of these people's day-to-day life. And as you can see, their YouTube strategy is being absolutely successful with hundreds of thousands of views per each video that they make. But all these three platforms share the same goal, which is push people into Whop itself, because Whop is their main, not only nurturing, but conversion mechanism. Once they get someone to create a free account inside of Whop, they're stuck in the ecosystem. Why? Because Whop uses their own infrastructure to nurture these people and to retain them without relying on ads or third-party platforms. Once inside the second layer, Whop uses two main mechanisms. The first being Whop University, which is their own community to train creators to use the platform. Here they have daily calls answering questions, discovering strategies, and announcing new features to the platform. This free education resource gives Whop a very legitimate excuse to keep on nurturing people. The second one is email marketing, because while signing up, they get your email, and not only the Whop team, but also the Whop creators can communicate with you via email. In this way, Whop doesn't spam their users, but they deepen the relationship by consistently delivering value inside their own platform. And once you're inside of Whop and you've been nurtured by Whop, the transition to sale is pretty seamless. And so in the third layer, the conversion mechanism is Whop itself. Now, here's where the genius comes in. Unlike Skool, they don't have a set fee, and so the only way they make their money is on the 3% commission on the actual sales. They've lowered the barrier to entry, so it's absolutely free to start. The reason that this is genius is because it has no upfront risk for creators. It's fully integrated inside of the platform, and it has growing traction because many people are using Whop as a payment processor. Because that's the next thing. Whop has their own payment processor, the Whop Payments. This is leading a lot of people in the online business space to use Whop as a backup. And guess what? If you've been using Whop Payments and at some point you want to start a digital product, what are you going to use? Skool? I don't think so. Making it short, once that Whop attracts attention, they nurture it and convert it inside of the platform without sending people anywhere else, which is super convenient and sticky. But this is just the tip of the iceberg because Whop's attention ecosystem doesn't start or end with Whop. Because besides having their own attention ecosystem as a brand, they're stacking multiple personal attention ecosystems on top of it. After Iman invested in Whop, he didn't just give him cash. He also plugged in his own personal attention ecosystem. An attention ecosystem with a database of more than 7 million people across platforms. But this doesn't stop here because Eddie Cumberbatch did the exact same thing. Austin Jorges, Brett Malinowski, creator Nick. Every single one of them has super powerful attention ecosystems, and by plugging them together, they built what I like to call the ecosystem network, where every single personal ecosystem redirects to Whop's ecosystem. Instead of depending on one single brand account, Whop is creating a decentralized attention network, where every single presence becomes a new entry point into Whop's ecosystem, multiplying this by 1,000. In this way, every single entry point into each one of their personal attention ecosystems is a new entry point into Whop's attention ecosystem, which makes it impossible to compete. This massively increases the traffic volume. It also increases the quality of the traffic because they're coming warm from the personal brands of the members inside of Whop's team, and it's a self-compounding growth strategy. Because by stacking enough voices recommended on the same platform, it makes Whop seem like the obvious choice. Compared to Skool, which leans heavily into a few partnerships, Whop is building a much faster and resilient distribution network. But if you think that Iman and Whop were just focused on pulling creators in, you're wrong, because they realize that their real money is not in building communities, but it is in building a microeconomy. And they're doing that through the Whop marketplace. At a high level, Whop realized something really important, which is that not every single person wants to create content or become a content creator. And there is this small and ignored group of people who want to start making money online without having to create their own content. But even better than this, they realize that there's no platform for these people, because there's platform for people who want to sell information and want to buy information, but there's no platform for people who want to earn money without selling their own information. But not only that, a majority of these platforms saw these people as a problem and punished their attempts to sell their services. It was by realizing this that the Whop team had found the $1 billion market gap, and the team knew it, so they introduced Whop Content Rewards. Whop Content Rewards is a program that allows people to make money inside of Whop by promoting either Whop or the content of creators that have their communities inside of Whop. The way it works is pretty straightforward. You first create a folder with all your content that people can access, then you set a rate per 1,000 impressions, so if someone gets 1,000 impressions on a reel, you pay them X. And finally, these people clip up that content for you and they repost it and publish it everywhere so that you get impressions and sales for your community or your Whop program, and they get paid in exchange. But the craziest thing about this are the results, because some of the results so far are absolutely insane. 50 million views in 30 days for only $22,000. 30 million views in 14 days for only $4,000. 11 million views for $3,000. This strategy right here has the biggest ROI in the market. There's no ad platform that you can run for this cheap and get this many impressions. Now, maybe this strategy sounds familiar. And yeah, it's because it's the same strategy that Andrew Tate used back in 2022 to go viral and make millions. By using the same strategy, he gained millions of followers in a short span of time. Same strategy that later Iman Gadzhi copied. And it's the exact same strategy Iman then implemented into Whop as an official business model. And here's the key. It's an official business model, and that's the way they're framing it, because then Whop doesn't become a place where you need to run a business to be able to make money. It's the place where you go to make money. Whop knows how powerful this is, so they've been pushing it heavy in the latest content. But now let me break down why the strategy is redefining the creator economy. Whop has skin in the game because they only take transaction and payment processing fees, which means that the only way for them to be successful is to make the creator successful as well. And we've seen that the only way for a creator or online entrepreneur to be successful is to have a strong attention ecosystem. Now, the problem is that if you're a content creator, and especially if you're starting out, having a full content production team is expensive, especially for beginners. So here's where the content rewards and the affiliate structure comes in. For just a fraction of the cost of a content production team, the affiliates take care of clipping, editing, and posting your content across different platforms. This allows these creators to get millions and millions of impressions, which, guess what? lead back to Whop. The reason is that everything happens inside of Whop's ecosystem. They've created a system that allows them to capture market share with no advertisement cost. They provide the infrastructure for the transaction to happen, which allows the affiliates to make money without a product, and it allows the creators to get exposure for a fraction of the cost, what massively increases their creators' LTV and their payouts. Whop doesn't have to pay for any of this because the creators fund the affiliates, and the affiliates create free distribution, and all the attention is redirected to Whop. As a result of the combination of the attention ecosystem and Whop content rewards, the results have been absolutely insane, with the average content creator making more than $7,000 per month in recurring revenue. Last week, Iman also announced that Whop just crossed the $1 billion processed through the platform and that there's more than 10,000 creators in Whop earning an income. Now, with 7 million users on the platform right now, this doesn't seem to be slowing down. Instead of betting everything in community loops, Whop has taken a different approach because they're betting their brand on brand power, media dominance, and cultural relevance. Okay, so a little bit over a year ago, in January of 2024, Alex Hormozi announced the biggest investment of his career into Skool.com and became co-owner of Skool alongside Sam Ovens. Sam is the founder of Skool, and in case you don't know his story, let me tell it to you because it's a pretty fun one. So Sam was one of the pioneers of online education, and he founded consulting.com in 2014. He scaled his business and made millions online teaching other people how to grow and scale their consulting businesses. However, he was so successful that he became burned out of the online business space, and so he suddenly disappeared. For 2 straight years, everyone was wondering what had happened to Sam Ovens and why he sold consulting.com. And no one had an answer until 2 years later, Sam came out with a really emotional video.
I'm back.
And in this video, he revealed that he has spent the past 2 years locked up in a cabin in the woods working on Skool. The reason that Sam started Skool is because he saw a gap in the market. Because during his experience running consulting.com, he saw that many of his clients were reliant on different platforms to host different parts of the services. So courses, chats, calls. Seeing a huge opportunity, Sam decided to create one unified platform that merged all of these functions into one place. And so he sold consulting.com for millions and reinvested all of that money into building Skool. Now, even though Sam Ovens still funded Skool for a long time, at some point, if you want to grow and scale, you need to get investment. And so if he wanted to grow Skool, but make it in a way that his original mission remained intact, he needed to find the right investor. And that's where Hormozi comes in. Hormozi was the perfect partner because Sam not only needed money, he also needed distribution. And if Sam was going to associate Skool brand with another external brand, it needed to make sense. Now, the reason Hormozi was the perfect partner is because he brings to the table a massive personal brand with a huge audience of business owners. He also has expertise in scaling companies, and he has influence in the online education market, having been really public about the role that education has played in his journey. For Sam, this meant distribution and instant reach, but for Hormozi, it meant filling a gap in his product ecosystem. From Hormozi's perspective, as someone that works with huge companies and established entrepreneurs, Skool gave him a beginner-friendly product that allowed people to make their first money online. So having all this into account, the partnership came to life. Now, after Hormozi invested on Skool, both Sam Ovens and Hormozi got hit with the billion-dollar question, which was, how can we dominate a market that doesn't know us with minimal costs? This question and its answer was the key point of leverage to Alex Hormozi's billion-dollar play. But let me explain what I mean with a billion-dollar play. The education market is worth more than 10 trillion globally and more than 1 trillion just in America. Now, the valuation for a SaaS company just like Skool is calculated by multiplying the annual recurring revenue times a revenue multiple that varies depending on the industry, which for SaaS is around 10 to 20x. This means that for Hormozi to turn Skool into a billion-dollar company, he would need to be making somewhere around $100 million annually or $8 to $10 million per month. And so multiplying $100 million times 10 to 20x, that's a $1 to $2 billion play. So what we're really looking at here is land grab, getting as many people as possible into the Skool ecosystem. And every single strategy that they implemented was aimed at dominating this space before anyone else could. So to do this, Skool implemented 2 main strategies. And so now we're going to take a look at the first one, which was the Skool Games. So after investing on Skool, the first thing Hormozi did was push hard the Skool Games. And what is the Skool Games? It's what I like to call a gamified activation system, or GAS. This is a strategy that uses competition and rewards to drive users to actively use a product and making growth feel fun, fast, and addictive. This is something Hormozi didn't come up with himself. He copied it from Harley Frankenstein, which had implemented for Shopify the Build a Business competition. The Shopify Build a Business competition is a competition where Shopify incentivizes people to use their product to start a business from scratch and scale it as much as possible. And so the winners get to fly to Necker Island and train themselves with entrepreneurs like Tony Robbins. After having a podcast with Harley, Hormozi saw this concept and he copied it. But the next thing Hormozi did was adapt this concept and turn it into a multi-layer marketing strategy. So let me break down how it works. First of all, what are the Skool Games? So the Skool Games is a competition where the communities inside the platform that generate the most revenue within 90 days get to fly out to acquisition.com, the headquarters in Las Vegas, to attend a private mastermind with Hormozi. And I know this sounds simple, but it's in this simplicity where Hormozi has hidden 3 core levers that the school is pulling to grow their company. The first one being that the Skool Games act as an activation point. This is the core lead magnet Hormozi uses for Skool, because instead of getting sign-ups right away, he doesn't challenge them to sign up. He challenges them to use the product, make money, and get rewarded. They use the system to filter out people that are not willing to take action while driving users to a platform. In the second place, it acts as a loyalty and retention program. The first thing that they do is emotionally anchoring people, because it gets winners to live a premium experience close to Skool and Hormozi, for reinforcing deep trust and validation and an emotional connection to the brand, because it's a positive experience associated to the brand and Skool itself. The second thing they do is they create the same brand leverage by positioning the Skool Games as a status reward. I've personally been inbounded and worked with people who have won the Skool Games, and as you can see here, is one of the first things that they always mention. Why? Because Skool positions this as something that you need to earn, and so the winners proudly showcase their achievement of winning the Skool Games, turning creators into brand ambassadors for free. For the people that participate in the Skool Games, winning is like a badge of honor. So see how Hormozi and the Skool team have flipped this around to be positioned as the validators and not the ones being validated. This takes us to step 3, because Skool builds status for their brand by associating themselves publicly with these figures. By inviting top creators who are already making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, Skool positions itself as a platform where serious entrepreneurs are recognized and they gain status through the people that attend the events. But the craziest thing is how the Skool team has positioned the brand in such a way that you believe that they are the reason for the success of these creators. Because the reality is that the majority of these creators could have been successful without Skool. Skool is just a vehicle, and sure, it is good, but it's only a small percentage of these people's success. But by framing it as you need to compete and win to be invited to this event where I can give you recognition through my brand, they capture the perception that it was the catalyst for their success. The psychology behind how they frame this event is what allows the third lever to be created, which is turning this event into a content engine. Because the Skool Games are engineered to generate massive amounts of content in just a few days. Case studies, behind the scene videos, the commentary style content, everything gets pushed by the people that go to the events. It's human psychology at scale, so think about it. These creators crave recognition. So what do? They post it, and not because no one forces them to do so, just because they want to gain the recognition that Skool gives them with their own achievements. The creators post it, and Skool gains all the upside for the fraction of a cost. You can see this in this picture, for example. Check this out. So you can see that in this picture, you can see Eddie Cumberbatch, Hamza, you can see Max Person. All these people have huge audiences, and they redistribute this content for free. This is the same reason why the Skool Games is one of the highest leverage moves Alex Hormozi could have done. Because only for a few tens of thousands of dollars, Skool gets millions of impressions in reach, increased brand trust and credibility, organic brand ambassadors that are promoting them for free, increased retention, and LTV for the people that go to these events, which are the best customers. Hormozi has turned a simple competition into a high leverage acquisition loop that is almost impossible to replicate. Now, while the Skool Games gave them a huge early push, you cannot build $1 billion company from a competition alone. They need a second mechanism, a mechanism that allowed to grow the company organically month after month without relying on any paid promotions or ads. And that's where the second mechanism comes in. And the second mechanism is called the organic flywheel. After the first push to the Skool Games, Skool stopped running any kind of ads across every single platform. So if they don't run ads, how do they acquire traffic? What they did was engineer the platform, the product itself, to grow organically through users. Every single Skool community is an asset in of itself, because when it becomes successful, their creators start promoting it everywhere. These creators are not only promoting their brand, but Skool's brand. And when people see this, they have 3 options. The first option is start your own community. So they can go here, start a community for $99 a month, and they become users, which then win again, which then recommend it to more people, and so on, so on, so on. The second option is they can recommend it to a friend. Maybe it's not interesting to them, but they share the word organically. And the final option, they become members of a community, making other creators successful and starting the loop over again. As you can see, this is a never-ending cycle of word of mouth, where the creators themselves do all the promotion that Skool needs. It's this organic system and the simplicity of this platform which has allowed more than 44% of people who try Skool to make their first dollar online. The product is engineered in such a simple way where you don't need programming skills, you don't need design skills. It's an all-in-one solution with every single functionality that you could need to run a coaching, consulting, or info product business, and it has an inbuilt landing page that allows you to redirect all your traffic to Skool. But if this wasn't good enough, they lubricated this engine with the affiliate program, where they give people 40% of recurring revenue for life. This turns creators into marketers because now they have a financial incentive to promote Skool, and it also builds compounding distribution because every new affiliate becomes a new traffic source without Skool spending a dime in front. In fact, their affiliate program is so generous that there are entire businesses and pages of people that use the affiliate model as their own business model. Essentially, what Skool has done with this system is create an army of incentivized marketers that run paid ads, SEO, and content in their behalf. This strategy is what is allowing Skool to scale at insane velocity. So the results: website traffic has more than doubled, hitting over 20 million views in February 2025. Skool just crossed the 200,000 members inside of the platform, and the number of active Skool communities went from 1,000 in 2023 to over 20,000 today. But there's one problem, because the same strength that Skool has, which is growing organically without paid ads or any content, is the same weakness that they have, because Skool doesn't control the narrative of their own brand. Without having official accounts in any of the main social media platforms, they don't control the narrative of their brand. It's the community that does. And when you rely on the internet to carry your brand, things can get a little bit messy. So over the past few months, they've been getting a lot of hate because some people think Skool is dodgy, some people think the design is awful, the platform feels spammy, or the free communities are like sales groups. And there's nothing much that Skool can do to suppress this content or even put their own content on top of it because they don't have content distribution. Not having the control of their brand reveals a big weakness. Same weakness that Whop has attacked. But Whop's growth isn't because they have a better platform. It's because they have a better attention ecosystem that allows them to capture, nurture, and convert attention on demand. But the same principle doesn't only apply to Whop. In this new era of the attention economy, it is not enough to have a good offer or a good guarantee. You need an attention ecosystem that builds trust at scale and allows you to turn strangers into clients consistently. This is what Whop and all the successful online entrepreneurs making tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars per month are leveraging right now. Even the same thing that the creators inside of Skool are also leveraging. And this is what every single serious online entrepreneur will need to succeed in this new creator economy. If you run a service-based online business and would like my help to build your own attention ecosystem, you can DM me on Instagram, or you can check the link down below where we can talk. At the end of the day, the future belongs to those who are able to command attention, because attention wins wars, and the billion-dollar war for the creator economy has just begun. So if you like this video, consider subscribing, and see you in the next one.